Hello, my dear friends. Let's talk about how our podcast videos can help to improve your English language proficiency. Watching our podcast can enhance your listening skills in English as you hear natural speech patterns and pronunciation. This consistent exposure helps you become more familiar with the language. Vocabulary expansion. Our podcast introduces you to new words and phrases related to the topics we discuss, helping you build a richer vocabulary. This is particularly useful for expanding your understanding and usage of English. Grammar and sentence structure. By listening to structured sentences in our podcast, you can absorb proper grammar and sentence construction in English. This passive learning helps you internalize correct language usage. Accent and pronunciation. Exposure to different accents and clear pronunciation in our podcast can aid you in improving your own accent and pronunciation. This is especially beneficial for non-native speakers aiming to sound more natural. Contextual understanding. The topics covered in our podcast provide context that helps you understand how to use English in real-life situations, improving your overall comprehension and ability to apply what you've learned.
Hey, Diana, you are here. I've been looking for you since morning.
Really? I was already here, and I didn't see you here. You could send me a message.
Ops, it was my mistake. I am having some problems related to English.
Sure, let's talk on the topic. You can ask me whatever question you have.
Of course. Hey, we have a new member, Lily.
Hello, guys. I am interested in this conversation.
Which accent people use most in the world, British or American?
As of the most recent data, the American accent is more widely spoken globally than the British accent. This is primarily due to the global influence of American media, entertainment, and business.
I think you're right. American English has become a dominant form of English spoken internationally, although British English remains influential in certain regions and contexts, such as in former British colonies and parts of Europe.
Wait. Let me tell you my story in short. I'm a native English speaker, though I grew up with grandparents who weren't. I learned Spanish as a second language and spent years teaching English to non-native speakers. I've traveled quite a bit.
Please continue your story. I am eager to know more.
I've always been fascinated by languages and different cultures, so it was a natural fit for me to pursue a career in language education. Teaching English to non-native speakers has not only been a fulfilling experience, but it has also allowed me to connect with people from all walks of life. Traveling has also been a big part of my life, and it has given me the opportunity to immerse myself in different languages and gain a deeper understanding of various cultures.
Have you ever wondered how celebrities who speak English as their second language become so fluent over time?
Absolutely, I've noticed that too. I think they might hire a professional English tutor.
That's true. Undoubtedly, they also work to improve their English fluency.
I have seen many cricketers initially who couldn't even understand reporters' questions properly. It often takes time to understand native speakers.
How did they understand letters?
The answer is practice. Sometimes people feel humiliated and embarrassed in public, but they keep practicing despite it all. It's the only way to improve and grow.
Oh, I see. We all know that famous people come from all over the world. What we don't realize is just how many celebrities have had to learn English as a second language on their way to fame.
The actors, who don't speak English as their native language, often have to navigate through several added obstacles, including language barriers and cultural differences.
I think listening to English helps you to develop your listening comprehension skills, which will allow you to understand spoken English more easily.
Let me tell you a story about a famous American actor, Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Austrian-born actor arrived in the U.S. at the age of 21 with little knowledge of English.
Yes, I know him. What happened later?
Schwarzenegger tells the story of how he struggled to learn English and reduce his accent. Soon after moving to Los Angeles, Schwarzenegger enrolled in English classes to improve his language skills and reduce his accent. Besides, he consciously surrounded himself with native English speakers to practice his English in immersion.
Yeah, I also heard that he writes, "I made it a rule to date only American girls. I did not want to hang out with girls who knew German." Eventually, his hard work paid off, and he became one of the biggest names in Hollywood.
Many of our students often ask why they have been learning English for so many years without seeing much improvement. It's frustrating for them, and we understand their concerns. Learning a new language can be a challenging journey, but with the right support and perseverance, progress is definitely possible.
Let's work together to find the best strategies to help our students overcome this obstacle and make significant strides in their English language proficiency.
Well, we don't have a partner to speak English. If I have partner, then we don't know what to say or how to say things.
Let me tell you something. You should have enough knowledge of vocabulary. After that, you should have basic knowledge of the grammar.
But my grammar is not so well.
No need to be perfect in grammar. I mentioned basic grammar. When speaking, don't worry about grammar. It's not necessary because, firstly, you have to learn to express yourself without any hesitation. Just focus on communicating your ideas and thoughts clearly, and the grammar will improve over time. So, practice speaking without worrying too much about grammar rules.
I understand English well, but I can't speak.
Lack of practice. Speaking a language requires practice and exposure. If you haven't had enough opportunities to practice speaking English.
Yes, I don't get a chance to practice with someone.
The second reason could be fear or anxiety. Some people feel nervous or anxious when speaking a new language, which can impact their ability to speak fluently. Fear of making mistakes or being judged by others can hinder your ability to speak confidently.
Great. What could be the third reason?
Limited vocabulary. If your vocabulary is limited, you may struggle to express yourself effectively in English. Building a strong vocabulary can help improve your speaking skills.
Correct. I think I am having lack of words.
Lack of confidence. Confidence plays a significant role in language speaking abilities. If you lack confidence in your speaking skills, you may hesitate or struggle to communicate effectively.
What else mistakes do people make?
Maybe because you are not used to speaking English daily, your reaction may be slow and not effective in expressing your ideas. Understanding and writing English well is different from speaking. In order to communicate well in English, you have to use it. You have to train your brain and your reaction. Speak, 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 and speak. Do not be concerned about grammar. Just focus on your ideas, pronunciation, and accent. To make it more effective, find some speaking partners, maybe your friends or family members. Otherwise, you can have conversations with native English speakers if you have a chance to meet them in real life. If not, you can create opportunities for yourself on the internet. There are lots of English-speaking clubs, groups, sources, websites, etc. Participate in and practice with them. In case you are introverted and don't like to talk to people much, the only way for you is to speak to yourself in front of a mirror. Record your own audio in a voice recorder and listen to it on a regular basis. I usually record my chapters and listen to them. It helps me improve both my active speaking and my academics. Never translate English in your mind. Try to think in English. Observe things around you with an English perception.
If you found the video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
Hello, my all lovely friends. Today's episode is going to be a little different and very interesting. We will be listening to a speech, and then we will discuss what we can learn from it. I'll explain the words within new sentences so that you can use them in your own English conversations in real life. Additionally, if needed, I will also offer some grammar explanations. At the end of the video, we will engage in some English shadowing practice. Shadowing means copying someone. English shadowing practice is a proven technique that can significantly enhance your command of the language. By consistently shadowing native speakers and integrating this practice into your everyday life, you will begin to speak English with more confidence and fluency.
Good morning, Your Highness, Excellencies, friends and colleagues. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to be here today. It's also an honor to join forces with Educated Child, an organization led by a woman who is an amazing role model, a woman who has shown such relentless dedication to getting every child in school.
Hey Diana, we got a new word. Relentless.
Yes, relentless. What does it mean? Relentless means showing constant and determined effort without stopping or giving up.
Great. Synonyms are non-stop or unstoppable. Can you share some examples to understand better?
Sure, why not? Of course. Here are two simpler examples. Example number 1. The dog was relentless in its efforts to catch the ball, never stopping until it succeeded. Example number 2. She was relentless in her studies, always working hard to get good grades.
This is such an exciting day for us because it marks the beginning of a new era in my home country, Colombia.
Hey Diana, we got a new word. Era.
This word means a period of time with distinctive characteristics. Era synonyms are day, age, time, period, year, generation.
Great. Can you share some examples to understand better?
Example number 1. The Industrial Revolution was a major era of change in human history. Example number 2. Just now entering an era of great prosperity.
Sorry, what does prosperity mean?
Prosperity means a state of being successful. Synonym, success. Example, we need to drive growth and create jobs and prosperity.
Most of you may know me as an artist, as an entertainer, and that's indeed my calling and what I've been doing since I was 13 years old. But I never would have imagined when I started out that my work as an artist would end up being the vehicle for me to serve my greater purpose in life of working towards eradicating poverty through the power of education.
Hey Diana, we got a new word. Indeed.
Indeed. Indeed means in truth or really. It emphasizes that the speaker's calling is truly as an artist and entertainer. Let's see an example. She is very talented indeed. This means she is really or truly very talented.
Is there any grammar part that we can practice?
I've been doing this since I was 13 years old. Present perfect continuous has been used in this sentence. The present perfect continuous tense is used to describe an action that started in the past and is still continuing in the present. The word is since. Since is used to indicate the starting point of an action that continues up to the present. I've been living here since 2010.
But I never would have imagined when I started out that my work. Here, which grammar rule has been used?
Cool. It's a third conditional sentence, I would say. If plus past perfect, wouldn't have plus past participle. Example, if you had told me about the meeting, I would have come.
As a Colombian citizen, inequality is a concept that sadly one becomes very familiar with at a very young age. It's a country like many others in Latin America where a few have a lot have almost nothing, and where if you're born poor, you will almost certainly die poor. And where people don't access equal opportunities. And because of that, generation after generation after generation live trapped in the same vicious cycle fed by prejudice and inaction.
Hey Diana, we've got some new words here. As a Colombian citizen, the first word is citizen.
Yes, citizen. A citizen is a legally recognized member of a country, entitled to rights and responsibilities such as voting, paying taxes, and following the laws of the land.
Great. The second word is inequality.
Inequality. It means the state of not having equal opportunities and treatment among people or groups. If one person has 5 apples and another person has no apples, that's an example of inequality.
The word is prejudice.
Prejudice means having an unfair and unreasonable opinion or feeling, especially when formed without enough thought or knowledge.
Growing up in my country when I was around 8 years old, I remember I saw kids my age who, instead of being in school, were already working in the streets, were barefoot in the park, kids like me, whose reality was completely different than mine, only because of the circumstances into which they were born.
Hey Diana, we have got some new words. Barefoot.
Barefoot means not wearing any shoes or socks. In the sentence, instead of being in school, they were already working in the streets, were barefoot in the park. It implies that the children were walking or playing in the park without shoes, highlighting their lack of proper footwear and possibly their economic hardship.
And we have another word, circumstances.
Circumstances. Circumstances means the conditions or facts affecting a situation. It means that the children's different living conditions and opportunities were due to the situations they were born into, such as their family's economic status or social environment. We have completed the listening practice and have also learned some new words and grammar concepts. Now, let's move on to the speaking practice, as we mentioned at the beginning of the video, for the English shadowing practice. Before we start, please guys, let me know if you found the video helpful or not. Your comment is important for us to understand this. Hi, I am looking for this address. Hi, I am looking for this address. Can you please direct me? Can you please direct me? I greatly appreciate you spending time with me. I greatly appreciate you spending time with me. But I have to leave now. But I have to leave now. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday. Are you having a good time? Are you having a good time? How about you join me for some tea in the garden? How about you join me for some tea in the garden? But I really can't stay here for long. But I really can't stay here for long. How lonely I've been feeling except you. How lonely I've been feeling except you. Hey, I was wondering if you could help me with this problem. Hey, I was wondering if you could help me with this problem.
If you found the video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
Hey Daisy, what are we going to learn in this episode?
Hey, Alex. This episode is going to be more interesting.
Cool. May I know that how?
We are going to cover many things like listening, speaking, new words, and some grammar discussion if needed.
Amazing. Why listening is important for learning English.
For learning any language in the world, listening comes first. Imagine, when you were a child, how did you start learning your mother language? I am pretty sure that your answer is listening. You can't imagine listening to how much it can help you to improve your English.
Okay. Why should we learn new words?
Good question. Why should you learn vocabulary? Vocabulary is important because it's the basis of all languages. It allows us to communicate more effectively and precisely. A rich vocabulary enables us to express ourselves clearly and with nuance, which is essential in both written and spoken communication. Don't forget to note down all new words, so that letter you can practice anytime.
End of the video. We're going to practice speaking, right?
Yes, English shadowing practice. Hello friends, if you find the video 1% helpful, please give a like to this video. We promise you that you will learn something new from this episode that could help to enhance your English.
Even when faced with the legendary Sword of Heroes, the warrior didn't flinch because he was that much of a master.
Hey Daisy, we got a new word. Flinch.
Flinch. Flinch means to quickly move back or away because you are scared or in pain. Synonym: back, away. Even when the warrior saw the famous powerful sword, he didn't show any fear or move back because he was very skilled and brave.
Hey Daisy, can you please give one example?
Sure, she didn't flinch when the doctor gave her an injection.
In European elections on June 9, they came out the clear winners. And that night, the night of those results, Macron did something that, from the outside, seems completely baffling.
Hey Daisy, we got a new word. Baffling.
Baffling. Baffling means something that is confusing or difficult to understand. In this sentence, it suggests that Macron did something on that particular night that appears very confusing or hard to comprehend when viewed from an outsider's perspective. Example: the sudden change in weather was baffling to everyone.
He believed that if he frankly scared voters into thinking about the seriousness of the far right running France, they would simply change their mind in a mere 3 weeks, which many people said was folly, but that's what he believed.
Hey Daisy, we got some new words. Frankly.
Frankly. Frankly means to honestly or openly speak or act without hiding anything. So, example, it means he believed that by openly and honestly making voters scared about the seriousness of the far right running France, they would think about it seriously. Example, frankly, I don't think we can afford to buy a new car right now.
Last Sunday, in the first round of those elections, the results of that bet started coming in. They were a disaster for Macron and for millions of French Muslims, people of colour, anyone at risk of being seen as not French enough, one step closer to a frightening new era.
Hey Daisy, we got some new words. Disaster.
Disaster. Disaster is something very bad that happens suddenly and causes a lot of damage or harm. For example, a big storm that destroys houses is a disaster.
But in the sentence, what did they mean? They were a disaster for Macron and for millions of French Muslims.
In this context, disaster means a very bad result or outcome. It doesn't mean an actual storm or natural event, but rather a situation where things went very badly for Macron and the groups mentioned.
Okay, can you please tell me an example?
Sure. Missing my flight was a disaster because I couldn't attend the important meeting.
We have another new word. Frightening.
Frightening. frightening means something that makes you feel scared or afraid. So, in the sentence, one step closer to a frightening new era, it means getting closer to a new time that makes people feel scared.
Era. What does it mean?
In the sentence, era means a period of time in history. So, a frightening new era means a new period of time that is scary. Hello, my friends. Now we're going to learn some English phrases that native speakers use all the time.
Hanging out. What does it mean?
It means spending time relaxing or socializing with friends or others. We're hanging out at the park this afternoon.
Get around.
Get around is a phrasal verb that means to move from place to place. Example: in this city, it's impossible to get around without a car.
She uses a bike to get around the city. Or it's easy to get around town using public transportation.
Correct. Move to the next.
Get away.
Get away is a phrasal verb that means to escape or to go somewhere for a break or vacation. Example: the thief managed to get away before the police arrived. Or, we're planning to get away to the beach this weekend. Or, I need to get away from work for a few days to relax.
Get by.
Get by is a phrasal verb that means to manage or survive, especially with difficulty.
Example: even though he doesn't earn much, he manages to get by. Or, she's finding it hard to get by on her small pension.
When Shakira lost her job, the family got by with only their savings. Or during the tough times, they had to get by with very little food.
Get into.
Get into is a phrasal verb that can mean to become involved in something, to start enjoying something, or to enter a place.
Example: she got into yoga last year and now practices every day. Or, how did you get into the building without a key?
I don't want to get into our finances now. We'll talk after our guests leave. Or, I'm starting to get into this new TV show. We have completed the listening practice and have also learned some new words and grammar concepts. Now, let's move on to the speaking practice, as we mentioned at the beginning of the video, for the English shadowing practice. Before we start, please guys, let me know if you found the video helpful or not. Your comment is important for us to understand this. Hi, I am looking for this address. Hi, I am looking for this address. Can you please direct me? Can you please direct me? I greatly appreciate you spending time with me. I greatly appreciate you spending time with me. But I have to leave now. But I have to leave now. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday. Have a great weekend. See you on Monday. Are you having a good time? Are you having a good time? How about you join me for some tea in the garden? How about you join me for some tea in the garden? But I really can't stay here for long. But I really can't stay here for long. How lonely I've been feeling except you. How lonely I've been feeling except you. Hey, I was wondering if you could help me with this problem. Hey, I was wondering if you could help me with this problem.
If you found the video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.